Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. It's pretty sunny right now, so the sun, as it goes down, just like hits that sweet spot that makes it a little tough over here. But I'd like to get that background in there. So I think I'm going to try and maybe take it outside one of these shows and see if I can find a spot out there where the sun gets blocked by that big tree right there you see behind me. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right. So we know who they are. We know who they are. The good, the white hats, President Trump, myself, of course, and the red hats. Well, that's the guys that are like the old neocons that feel that they have to like start a fight. They have to kick some ass, right? And we don't know. Maybe we're going to need them. All right. So the coming crisis. It's not coming, it's already happening in our major cities. So we could probably look at them as the red hats, the ones that are going to have to kick some ass, right? So, and then we have the ugly, right? The Luciferians, the liberals, the Democrats, the rhinos. Yeah, we know who they are. All right, the Soros, and then all the people that fund all of this nonsense, right? The deep state actors. So yeah, now why did I want to bring this up? So I had a dream, not like Martin Luther King's dream, but I had a dream last night where I was involved in all of these different groups, right? So here I am, I'm trying to bring out the love vibration, wake people up. Now, obviously, the black hats, who want to start a civil war, they want to do everything and anything they can to stay in power. And what they have done throughout thousands of years is to start wars. All right, so they wanted to pick a fight with Russia, start a nuclear war with Russia. That didn't work. So they tried to start a nuclear war with China. That didn't work. So they're just like, okay, let's pick a fight with the Americans because they're the only ones that are awake and have guns, right? So that's not so smart either, as they're going to find out. So that's kind of where we're at. And in my dream, I was waking people up, and so I was, under attack by the Luciferians, the black hats, and then I was surprised because I was under attack at certain times by the red hats, because the red hats they feel like, hey, stop trying to wake these effers up. Let's just kick their ass. I was like, no, we have to wake as many up as we can. Now, I believe that's what President Trump, and this was in my dream as well, really wants. He wants to wake up as many people as possible. He is putting before us all of the bad actors so that everybody can see who they are, and just pushing them back out into the front. All of the people that push the vaccine, he brings them in, and that helps steal elections. He brings them in. It's like, oh, let's come on in. Let's sit down at the table here. Let's work together. Let's work together. So are they going to work together? I don't know. They're black hats, Luciferians. Maybe they can be woken. They can be awakened, and they can start to do the right thing. I don't know. I think a lot of them have done such incredibly evil things that they have to stand trial. And in some cases, I believe that's already happened. But we're going to see a lot of them, black hat types, start to be taken down. Now, we're seeing that now, of course, with Comey, and today, I guess, Letitia James. We'll talk about that. So, because that's up in the air. That's up in the air, all of that, as you guys are going to see. Trump appointed someone that's kind of on shaky ground. And if she's on shaky ground, calling in all these, criminal all these criminal activities, they could be dismissed because these people aren't in positions where they actually have that position. Because we know that the liberal Congress and the rhinos, right, the red hats, are dragging their feet and not appointing people. It's just one of the worst times ever, I think, for appointing people. And with this shutdown, I guess they did 107. That nice number, Juan sent me that, where they basically legislated 107 appointments through very quick, because the Democrats are on shaky ground right now. And so the Republicans, the good Republicans, the white hat Republicans are pushing stuff through as fast as they can. All right, tribunals. You know, there's that. So I think that on a certain level, we're seeing, you know, the beginning stages of what's going to lead to tribunals. And it could be that, you know, these people that he's appointing that are starting to drop off, unfortunately, like Alina Habada, I think that's her name, that was appointed in New Jersey. She wasn't confirmed, so she had to drop out. They have 120 days. There's another one in Nevada. She had to drop out 120 days. So if they're not appointed by the Senate, then they have to drop out, and there's no one has been appointed. So yeah, there's some serious problems with this Congress and Senate guys. They're dragging their feet on purpose, obviously. So the bad and the ugly. All right. So the bad and the ugly in the Congress and the Senate, as white hats like President Trump try to make things happen. It's definitely what real raw news is. What 50% truth? It's you know, sells itself as being like a humorous site. So I don't know. I would say maybe not even 50%. But are they leaking stuff? I don't know. So let's look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. Of course, first we look at that old spaghetti western, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right, with Clint Eastwood. All right. There's all the old photos, Lee Van Cleef, Eli Wallach, Clint Eastwood, right? That was one of my favorite movies back in the day. I love the spaghetti westerns. I watched them over and over again because, you know, it was like, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. I'm going to be the good guy, and I'm gonna knock out all the bad guys and take out the ugly guys, right? The evil, right? So let's look at that song, if you can call it that. It's what. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. So you see that shooting skill? That's what your boy can do, right? 3 headshots in less than a second. So those guys that have the wheel guns, and the wheel guns are like, you know, the guns, the 38 specials or 45s or whatever they are. They can be big bullets. 45 is a big bullet, and then 38's a big bullet too. And you know, it goes around, and when the hammer hits one, it loads the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, until it's all done. So I've seen guys that shoot from the hip, and they like take their hand and on the where you cock it back, they hit that real fast, and they can, like, in seconds, in less than a second, they can hit multiple targets, just like you saw in that scene. That's real. There's people that have that skill, like your boy. Right? I don't have it with a wheel gun. I have it with a regular gun, but I can shoot fast. I've learned I've learned some good skills over time. So it is one of those things that, you know, the red hats, they want to go out and take out the ugly, right? The bad hats, or the bad, the red hats, bad, or the red hats, or whatever. So, you know, wah, wah, wah. So it's called, it came out in 1966. It's a spaghetti Western. They have all the Italian directors and everything. And then, you know, over time, some of these, you would watch them and the lips don't match because they're speaking in Italian, and they dubbed English. So here are these Westerns that were in America, right? The Old West. And these gunslingers that were basically, you know, I guess the Italians liked it. They liked it like I like it, and it's pretty cool. So there was one called Trinity, and Trinity is still my name. My name is Trinity. All right, Trinity, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sound familiar in religion too? All right. So let's watch this one. This one's a really good one. This was one of my favorite. I remember back when we used to go to the theater, and for less than $1, you could watch a movie, have popcorn, and a drink, right? My mom told me that when she was a little girl, she and her sister would get on the bus, go downtown in Columbia, and for 25 cents, they'd get a bus ride, watch a movie, and get popcorn and soda. I was like, you did that for 25 cents? And then, of course, I was doing it for $1 by myself. And I thought, well, that's inflation like crazy. So I learned about inflation a long time ago. And of course, you know, I'm a silver guy. I'm a silver guy because I know about inflation. I learned it very early in life. And of course, silver popped today, popped very high. There's some kind of rumor out there that Xi, the president of China, had a heart attack. So silver like went way up, and I think 51, over 51 at some point. Now on the COMEX, it didn't pass 50. It hit 49.96.5, right? So I don't know what other changes, but people were saying, some people were sharing with me, and Dr. Kirk Elliott, who I go with, he put out a video today, and he talked about how it went up to 51 today. So silver's just itching to go higher, like Trinity here. He's just itching to show the ugly. So watch this. I love this scene. This is like the most amazing scene in history. Cinematic history, right? It's probably speeded up back when, you know, people didn't know about that, but look at this scene. Watch this scene. This is great.
When the lead hits you, it'll hurt less.
Now watch their lips, and it doesn't match. So spaghetti Western.
A little whiskey in your gut.
Oh, yeah. Give the gentleman a double. That way you won't feel a thing.
So this is the old gunslinger standoff right there in the bar, right? And this was cool because he had a buddy. He was like a big bear of a man, and he would punch somebody and knock him right out. So there's a scene in here where he punches these two guys. You can hear it. Their heads hit the table. Bump, bump. And look over, and he's always grumpy. He's like, hurry up, get it over with. And so now when I taught the hand-to-hand course, I learned how to hit like that. I could knock two guys out at the same time. So I didn't do it, but, you know, they had face shields on and everything. But I remember one guy that I hit, and he was a martial artist for most of his life. And he said, I have never been hit that hard in my life. It's a good thing I had that shield on, or otherwise I would have been flying across the room unconscious.
Get going.
So no, it's like the bad in the room. So here's the ugly here. He's the head guy. So he's challenging Trinity, and he's like getting slapped. He's like drawing his gun, slapping him, put his gun reholstering, draw it back out of his holster, slapping him, and this guy can't even move fast enough. So it's and watch for the psych. He psychs him.
You like to see that again? It's hard to catch the first time.
Cut it out.
All right. So that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. My extremes. All right. So let's look at it on a bigger picture. Let's look at the Trinity. The unity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as three persons in one Godhead according to Christian dogma. So you have, the Trinity. So you have the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So how does that work in the Trinity? So I kind of looked at it and I'm like, let's say the Father, he's basically the protector. And if you get out of line, you're going to die, right? So that's the Old Testament, right? So, and that's and doesn't mean it won't happen now, right? So Luciferians, the Father could slap you and pull out the gun before you can blink, and then boom, you're gone. Right? Or there's going to be all these rumors of wars and earthquakes and all that kind of stuff. So there's very possibly some of the ugly are going to get taken out, right? So that's kind of way I'm looking at that. The Son, the Savior of mankind, that could be. I mean, I'm not going to call them bad, but it could be the red hats, right? And then, of course, the Holy Spirit, the preserver, right, of the church. And so that would be the good. So I think the good, the Holy Spirit that transcends all things, that moves through all things, even the baddies, even the uglies, right? That's good. And of course, you religious fanatics out there are going to blow this up. You're going to scream and yell, but that's okay. Because, those of us that are white hats are going to help you too. Right? So don't worry. So that's what I'm looking at now. This goes through, you look at the Hinduism, they have the three faces, right? And they have Brahma is the creator. And the creator could be, I guess, God-like. And Vishnu, preserver, Jesus-like, and then Shiva, the destroyer. So that's the evil, right? The ugly, the evil side. Brahma is, the creator of all things. That would be like a white hat. And then Vishnu, the bad, preserver. So the preserver has to go in and sometimes has to kick some ass, right? So, I can be an ass kicker. I like being a white hat and waking people up like I do. But if I have to put my gun on like Trinity there and start slapping and shooting, I can do that too. All right. Or like Clint, three taken out in less than a second. So imagine me moving through a room of baddies, right? They're all like, what? And they're all gone. It's like, what? They don't, it's done. Right. So that's what the destroyer is like. Right. So the red hats, the bad. So I think that Trump has his bad. He's got his bad guys, and they're not bad like evil bad. They're like, we need to kick some ass. That's true. And sometimes we do. And I think it is happening. We're definitely seeing it in a lot of these cities like Portland, like Chicago, LA. Boston, I think, is coming. Boston is getting really bad. Boston could be one of the ones that's coming. Boston is one of the cities I see that will be destroyed. I see Chicago, New York City, LA, Chicago. I saw Houston destroyed. I don't know how Houston's going to fit into this, but I saw that Houston at one time was thinking about allowing the Zionists. The Zionists went to Israel and they're like, oh, we have the right to be here. And so we have the modern state of Israel, but that was going to be in Houston. And then they're like, maybe not. And then they were going to go to Ukraine. Of course they were going to go to Ukraine because that's the place where the Gazira Mafia started. So why not go there? And even the Ukrainians were like, nah. And even in Africa, and the Africans were like, nah, I don't think so. So, and then there's like, well, let's go to Palestine. They're just a bunch of farmers. They won't fight. Right? They're like the Californians. They won't fight. Yeah, I laugh at you Californians because you always talk smack, but you never do anything, right? So that's why I don't live there anymore. Dominion voting system sold to Liberty Vote from Missouri. All right, so this is moving in the right direction. This is definitely white hat movements happening, guys. So the Dominion voting systems was sold to Missouri No Inc., based in St. Louis, run by a former Republican election official. Wowzer, right? Democrats, the ugly, they don't stand a very good chance now. A release said Liberty Vote is committed to domestic staffing and software development, leveraging hand-marked paper ballots that enable compliance with President Trump's executive order on paper ballots, incorporating rigorous third-party auditing standards and designing simplified, transparent systems. The ugly, they're gone. They're gone. They're going to be gone overnight. Oh my God, that's crazy. Now, of course, the Democrats, the ugly, will definitely push back on that. They will definitely push back on that. Because, there's a lot of ugly that are coming to the light, and the uglies don't like that. So they're desperate to keep what they got. And we're going to see some red hats, some bad, right? Some bad act. I won't call them bad actors because, the bad, they're kind of like in between, back in the day, I could move within the ugly ranks and then take them out, right? If need be. So that has happened. So I've been involved in taking out a lot of baddies, uglies, right? But I had to be in that bad mode, right? So I can move in and out. I will never, ever be an ugly. Right? That's not part of my my makeup, right? My soul makeup is not designed to do that at all, right? So for me, it's been a commitment, a lifelong commitment, even as a little boy, to like dream of taking out the ugly, right? I used to dream about being like Patton and all those guys. So it is moving that direction. So the bad, the red hats, there is a need for them. So we can't, because I've had a problem with the bad, right? The real bad, right? They're the rhinos and all that stuff. They're bad to the point where they're just like almost ugly, right? So they don't count. But the bad in regards to, hey, I'm trying to push things to the white, and the bad are like, no, they're like resisting. So I would say to the bad, don't resist the white, right? Don't resist the love, right? Because the bad think that they can't be in that love frequency and do what they need to do. I know a lot of you are like that. You say, I can't love someone that is pushed the vaccine, or someone that, did this or did that, or is like, like Gavin Newsom, or who you name you know, the problem governor, right now. There's lots of them. Or the problem mayors. You're like, I can't send them love, right? So then you're part of the bad. Then you're a bad, and you're part of that trinity, right? So ultimately, you want to move to the white hat, to the ultimate good, to the connection to ultimate source, right? You want to be peaceful. You see me, I'm always peaceful. I could, if need be, I could move towards that bad instantaneously in less than a blink of an eye, like that Trinity guy, right? I'll slap you out of existence, right? And take your soul, put it in my back pocket, and just keep going and not blink an eye. So there is that part of me, and that's, many of you can't comprehend. You're like really impressed with someone that can do that. It's not something that everybody can do, right? Most people are like, they're either into bad, right? And would like to be good, but they're like, I just hate them so much. I can't go in that love vibration stuff. But we know that in that love vibration stuff, you're far more effective as a warrior. So when I moved into the good side, the connection to source, and started using that frequency to basically take out the bad, or not the bad, but the ugly, I was far more effective. I did not actually physically have to be in those areas where the ugly were. I can send love to uglies, which I have done, and they will cease to exist in this reality field, right? And it's not me that's doing that. I'm using that good frequency, good vibrations. So I use that good frequency vibration, that love energy, to basically do. And those guys that are the bad, that are like, great shots like I was in the past and still am, or could like take somebody out instantly without them like being able to realize they're done, they're gone. They're like to be, floating out of their body. They get too close to me, so and they don't have to get too close to me either. If I know they're coming with guns, right? And on top of that, I know that they're coming for me, and so things are happening before they even get close to me. So that's ultimately where we all want to be. We all want to be in that good vibration, that love energy. And that love energy will protect us and will cause a cascading type of event that takes out the ugly. Now, the bad, in a way, they're kind of in the way because they're trying to influence President Trump that we need to do this. And he's like, he knows he needs them, worst case scenario, and he's using them now, I believe, in certain cases. But there are some people in that bad realm that are pretty bad, right? Almost evil, almost ugly, right? And I think they've tried to influence him on several occasions, and he's like, no, we're not going to do that, right? We're going to do this. So I see people that get frustrated with him being President Trump, and talk a lot of shit about him, right? Even people that should know better, but they see things and they don't understand the way things are moving. So let me give you another instance that just happened, right? And this will probably give you really good insight of the good and the bad. So Charlie Kirk was obviously good, right? He was convincing a lot of people that have been basically captured in these universities by the ugly, the evil, right? And so he was moving in those realms, and they're like, they resist. It's kind of like they resist me when they took down my YouTube and a lot of other people's YouTube platforms and X and all that kind of stuff. So that's the evil side, the ugly side that is resisting. Now, with Charlie Kirk, he was moving in those environments, and like I've talked about, he was going in and stripping some of those ugly puppets and bringing them into the light, bringing them into good, right? So they were, I think they had planned to kill him. And that was it was a captured operation by the bad. So that's a good thing, right? So the good, bad, right? So there's good, good, there's good, bad, there's bad, bad, and there's bad, ugly, and then there's ugly, bad, and right, ugly, ugly, and ugly, ugly, ugly. So I mean, just pure evil. So see, there's layers of this. There's not just one or the other. You know, you're only good, or you're only bad, or you're only ugly, right? You can't be all one or the other. Yes, you can move within those. But I say if you go ugly, you stay ugly. Right? So kind of, yeah, you don't want to go ugly, right? You never go ugly, right? It's kind of like that. What was that one movie where the guy was playing? He was playing like a crazy. He was playing a crazy guy. God, which I should have like put this. That's because it's perfect what I'm talking about. And he's like, it's like the one guy that was like playing. I can't remember any of these actors' names right now. The one guy that was playing, maybe they'll pop into my mind in a minute. The one guy was playing like he was playing like he was a black guy, but as a white guy. Tropical Thunder. Yay, Willow Dreams, you rock. So Tropical Thunder, in that, the one actor is like he went full retard, and then the guy that was playing the black guy, you guys throw some names that I help. So I'm not going to look it up. I'm trying to keep this flow going. So he's like, you never go full retard. Robert Downey Jr. Thank you. Aspen's Play. So, and who was the other actor he was talking about? So Robert Downey Jr. he was telling him, you never go full retard. And then he talks about all those actors that had been, you know, kind of retarded. Ben Stiller, yeah. So he's telling Ben Stiller, and they're like, you know, like in Vietnam, you know, there's like a movie scene, but it wasn't, and it's like it was pretty crazy. So great movie, right? It's another classic, I think. And and what was it? It was like full retard Mike or something, or not Mike, but something like that. And so it was like it was so funny. So anyway, let me pull it up. Anyway, I'll pull it up. Tropical Thunder. So you guys will see the scene. I'm not going to play the scene because I won't be able to. Which is probably, I've already played some stuff in here, and they're probably not going to allow me to have this video up. So here is Tropical Thunder. I'll share the screen. All right, so classic trailer. So it's like you never go full retard. So it's like, anyway, you never go full ugly, right? That's my point. It's a roundabout way, and it's funny because you know, I weave stuff in like that. It's kind of like Juan. He goes off on tangents and he weaves stuff in, and some of you guys get frustrated with him because he weaves stuff for a long time. Right? So, but Jack Black, yeah, Jack Black was great that movie too. Tropic Thunder, and yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. That's right, yeah. So, and then he was like, and I think you said like, and you men, kind of like, or you people, or something like that. And then the real black guy's like, what do you mean, you people? like, oh my God, it was unbelievable. It was like, it was just destroying so many things. It was good. So Tropic Thunder. And so they were weaving in a lot of stuff. exposing and making fun of a lot of stuff. And yeah, you got to love wine. I mean, wine, weed stuff. So anyway, so President Trump, he was on a show and they were talking to him and he's like, you know, you do that, you go off on tangents. And he's like, yeah, that's called the weave. And he says, I'll go off on a tangent to make a point, but I'll circle back. And then they're like laughing and they're like, well, what if you don't circle back? And it's like, then it's like a Biden. Then I'm like a Joe Biden. So I got to make sure I weave it back in. So he's like, goes off on tangents like I'm doing right now. And you weave it back in. Yeah. Big Trouble in Little China was a good one as well. So there's lots of movies out there basically exposing a lot of these, ideas that people have about things and are just ridiculous, right? So let's go down and look at some of the things that are breaking. Letitia James, indicted by federal grand jury in Eastern District of Virginia. Now, remember, maybe a couple of weeks ago, if maybe even less time than that, President Trump was like, Pam Bondi, you need to like start cracking the whip here. I want some indictments. And so he's like, I shouldn't have been so hard on you. I need to get somebody in the Eastern District of Virginia. So he basically got somebody in there. And now we see Comey, and now we see Letitia James. It's kind of like, New York, where we had all those, the cases that were popping. So Trump is like settling score, isn't he? So James Comey, and then was like, who's next? Well, Letitia James. Letitia James next. And of course, we have some other ones out there. And we can look at John Bolton. Now, John Bolton, I would say, is probably going to go down here pretty soon. So we got Letitia James, Adam Schiff. I think Adam Schiff could be going here pretty soon. So crazy, right? And who knows? And then maybe, I don't know, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Jack Smith. Jack Smith, I think, before Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So we're seeing, this stuff go down. But is it legit? Is it legit? Now, this is the thing. That's the problem. There's high expectations, and there's people that want to do the right thing, but trying to do the right thing in this environment, I think, is very tough. Now, here you see Lindsay Halligan. She looks like, I don't know, she was on Trump's staff, and Trump's got all the beautiful women around him. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna make you, your prosecutor over in Virginia. So U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan is on the defensive now because James Comey and his lawyers are saying she's not legit. She's not legit. She cannot acquit. Right? Comey's strategy, as outlined in court on Wednesday, will focus on attacking Halligan's authority as a U.S. attorney of the Eastern District of Virginia as part of efforts to convince the court to dismiss the charges against him. Now, is this going to lead to, going down to Gitmo? I don't know. I hope there's a plan here. I hope they're not all in bed together and there's like, we're going to make you look bad. And, we said we do this. And so we're going to do this. And, there's that. A lot of people were talking that. But I think there's a big plan. So Comey's defense attorneys are likely to argue that Halligan can't serve as interim U.S. attorney because that position hit its 120-day limit. So the same thing that I was talking about earlier of how Congress and the Senate are dragging their feet on appointments. And so that position has to be filled within 120 days, but it didn't get filled because these baddies, and some of them are ugly, that are in the Senate and the Congress are doing some very bad, very evil things, right? So So if it goes over the 120-day limit, there's I guess there's some kind of law about the vacancy, not being filled. So they put her in after that time frame. Now, another thing that they're looking at is she's never been a prosecutor, and I don't even think she's attorney. Right? So it's crazy. Halligan was serving in the White House and has never been a prosecutor. Right? She's just a pretty face at this point, right? So I don't know what's going on here, but I hope they have a plan, because I'd hate to have Comey being, put up because there was like a terminal thing on his case too. Because when he falsely testified before Congress, I guess there's a 5-year term, and if it goes past that, then they can't prosecute him. So they jump through hoops to get this in. And so if Congress or the Senate does approve her, then she can do the prosecution, is my understanding. But, I'm not a lawyer. So I've been in a courtrooms a few times, have done okay. Actually, I've done pretty good in courtrooms. Yeah. So anyway, I've been in courts for other people too. And they've done really well. So you can go in there with the right attitude, not being intimidated, stick to your guns, and a lot of times you'll do well. I'd say I can't think of a time where I went into court and I didn't do well. I've always done well, and sometimes incredibly well. So, and I always went in with the attitude that I was like a lawyer. And I thought of myself as a lawyer and asked questions like a lawyer. And I talked to the judge like I was a lawyer, and the judge was impressed. And so I got off. It was crazy. It's crazy how that worked. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So fake it till you make it, and I made it. I made it. Right. It seems highly doubtful that Lindsay Halligan has been validly appointed as United States Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. Wellen wrote in the National Review recently, if her appointment is invalid, so is her indictment of Comey. Wow. That would be a bummer. Right? So I guess Letitia James would be in the same category then. Now, there's another one that fits this bill as well. And this is Sigil Chata, that's acting U.S. Attorney in Nevada. So they were like, she can't prosecute any cases either. So there's all these places where we need to take this deep state ugly down, and we have some bad people in positions, or maybe they're even ugly, that are resisting. So it's a little bit frustrating. So here is, I think she ran for U.S. Attorney General in Nevada in 22, and evidently didn't make it. So I don't know. Federal judge has disqualified Sigil Chata, a Trump-appointed Nevada federal prosecutor, from overseeing several criminal cases. I don't know what those are, but I just saw her name mentioned along with the U.S. Attorney in Eastern Virginia. So, are they sticking people in there, and they realize they're not going to be able, or they're hoping they'll be able to get them, termed or put in power or whatever, and it didn't work out because they had people in Congress or the Senate that didn't do what they said they were going to do. I don't know. But to me, it's kind of like this video when you look at it.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
All right. So
please go away. Let me sleep for the love.
So I'm breaking all the YouTube laws, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, it doesn't make it here, I'll put it over on Rumble. But it's very frustrating to see some of this stuff and see that there's potentially this stuff may not go through. So James Comey indicted today. Today he was indicted. And let me show you this. This is on Tucker Carlson News. So Tucker Carlson started his own news channel, TCN. Morning note. James Comey indicted. A grand jury indicted former FBI Director James Comey on Thursday, officially accusing him of lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional investigation. The case stems from a 2017 incident when Comey showed a friend 7 memos documenting his private conversations with President Trump. The friend, Columbia Law professor Daniel Reichman, then leaked their details to the New York Times, which led to the appointment of Robert Mueller. Comey told Congress that he did not authorize anyone to disclose the memos to the media 3 years later, stating, "I had no idea he was going to do that." Yeah. Donald Trump reacted to the news by blasting the Russia hoax, saying it placed a cloud over the entire nation and that it could have caused wars. Yeah, definitely. Could have caused wars. Russia was pretty pissed about that, being accused. And they were like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. But of course, we have the evil that said he did. And then we have the press that's part of the evil that said that he did too. And so they kept pushing that. And then we have all those other people that kept pushing it. Some of those Congress people that probably are going to be on the list, on Halligan's list, right? In Eastern Virginia. I spent a lot of time in Virginia. It was good. In SEAL Team 6 and one of the other SEAL Teams, SEAL Team 4. So it's very interesting to see, some of the stuff start to come up, and it could be non-admissible. So they may have to throw all this stuff out. That would be, boy, that would draw a lot of red flags, wouldn't it? All right, so here's Letitia. Letitia, she got charged in Virginia too, Eastern Virginia, indicted on fraud charge. New York Attorney General. So she's Attorney General in New York. Manhattan. Remember how they brought all those charges into Manhattan, where Trump was from? Wow, that must have sucked. Grew up your whole life, in Manhattan. Your family's from Manhattan. You build all those beautiful buildings in Manhattan, and then they come after you and with ridiculous charges. And of course, it's the Democrat Party that are doing money laundering through mortgage fraud, and she's the beginning of that disclosure. I think there's been others, but she's obviously the grand poobah of it right now. So here we go. James, who has previously denied wrongdoing, was being investigated for mortgage fraud after Federal Housing Finance Agency Chief Bill Pulte alleged earlier this year that she falsely described her Norfolk, Virginia home as a primary residence in order to secure a more favorable interest rate on a home mortgage loan. So it's pretty much a done deal. She did that. I'm amazed that they can continue with life and not get charged. And now here we are. We finally see her charged, and it may be that we're not going to be able to have her prosecuted because the person that's indicting her is not legitimately there. Right? So in that position, holding that position, sad, very sad. All right, National Guard poised to enter Chicago as Trump calls for jailing Democratic leaders. All right. Now, is he going to use Eastern Virginia to bring them in? That would be interesting, right? So why not? If it works, let's bring them all through there. So we got a federal court there that's, you know, kind of like Manhattan was. And like what was the other place? We had it down in Palm Beach or something. We had one down there. And then, of course, we had one in Georgia. So, hey, we're going to find our spots where we can do all these court cases too, you ugly people, evil people. So some 500 National Guards were deployed near Chicago on Wednesday on President Trump's orders, despite the objections of the Chicago mayor and Illinois governor. Now, the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, was calling for ICE officers to be arrested. And I guess the police are like, screw you, asshole. So that's not happening. So, I mean, there's some, they're getting desperate, obviously. They're pushing the envelope because they feel that they're and have been above the law and that the law protects them, of course. And that's not as we're seeing the case. Right? As I'm getting, well, look at that sun. Looks pretty cool, right? Sunbeams. So I'm in the lights. I'm the white hat. Right? I'm the white hat. So if we continue to see these people push back like this, we're probably going to see the insurrection order. I think he's already doing insurrection order. Just I don't know if he can do it without like announcing it to the public, but it seems to me that that's been happening. Right? Is there some way we need Derek Johnson to answer this question? Derek, is there some way that President Trump can activate the Insurrection Act without making it public and go into some of these cities? And it's like, oh, you didn't know that I did that? Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's the way you guys operate all the time. You have your own law. And so we have the right law. You have the ugly law, and we have the good law. And you're like, we're in charge. And everybody's like, oh, they're in charge. And they're not. They're not in charge. If enough of us push back on it, like when COVID hit, we could have stopped it out. But they're like, they don't know that we're not in charge, but we're going to act like we're in charge, and then they're going to believe that we're in charge. And so that's what happened. COVID lockdowns all over the world. And then everybody's like lining up for vaccinations. It's like 80% of America, and some other places a lot higher, almost 100% in some countries. And then some countries, didn't do it at all. I think the Swiss didn't do it at all, or was it Swiss or one of those countries? They're just like, just do whatever, do whatever, and it worked out pretty good. And that was like for COVID. And there's like, you want to wear a mask, you can. But then when the shot came out, they're like, they went full stupid. They went full evil, and they like, push the shot. Now, see, a lot of people remember all those Hollywood people that pushed the shot, looked like they were getting shots. Maybe some of them were, some of them weren't. Some of them have. A lot of them have passed away. There's been a lot of Hollywood types have passed away. So I think a lot of them got shots. And then you have, who's that one country music star, Dolly Parton? She's, what is she, like 79? She looks like she's like 40, 39, 40. Like, what's going on there? And she pushed the vaccination. And now she's having some sicknesses. But she just came out, I think, today, and she looked good to me. I mean, she looked normal, as could be for a 79-year-old that looks like she's 49 or less. I don't know what's going on there, but whatever, good for her. But not so good that she pushed the vaccination, and she even wrote a song about vaccination and sang it. And I don't know if she danced around to it, but probably did, right? That's what she usually does. She dances around when she sings. So not so good. Not so good, Dolly. Not so good. All right. So, but there's a lot of people going to defend her because she's very religious, right? So if she's religious, can't do anything wrong, right? She could be ugly and be religious, like the Pope. The Pope's religious and he's ugly, right? We know that. But I had Leo Zagami. Leo Zagami on last night. He talked it up. And, I don't think a lot of you guys have seen that. It doesn't have a whole lot of views, which I thought it would at this point. Maybe you don't understand what he's doing. He's basically exposing the evil in religion, the ugly, right? The Trinity, the ugly. So, and he does it really well. I mean, he's got all this. He went into the Illuminati. It's like I went into the CIA, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're CIA, always CIA." No, I did the good stuff in the CIA. Like he did the good stuff in the Illuminati, and he learned a lot of stuff, and he came out. And now he's talking about it. Kind of like me. I was in the CIA. I was like, "Oh yeah, there's some problems here. There's some good. There's some so CIA bad and ugly in the CIA. No white hats. No white hats at all in the CIA. It's all bad or ugly in the CIA. It's all, I wouldn't say all bad and ugly in FBI now. It looks like we got some good characters in FBI. But I would say that, at some point when we have taken down the deep state, then the CIA goes away completely. And the FBI will be reconfigured into something else. And so there's going to be a lot of this stuff, a lot of religions, and maybe not just, I'm being like carte blanche on religions, but there is very great numbers of religious institutions, I would say, that are ugly, right? Ugly. And then there's some that are bad. And then there's a few that are good. And I know everybody's saying, I'm in the good. And then you're going to find out that you're in the ugly, right? And that's what I found out when I went to CIA. I was like, oh, it's good. And then I found out, oh, there's a lot of ugly. There's a lot of ugly in there. And the one that's whatever's not ugly is bad, right? Red hats. All right. So Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, ugly, right? So you start looking at these ugly, right? Evil. And you don't have to go any further. So everything else that comes out of his mouth, everything that he does is evil, right? So we don't have to play games. It's like, oh, he did something nice. No, he did something nice to take your attention off his evil, right? Which is evil. Right? If you're evil doing nice things, that's evil because you're trying to fool people into believing that you're good, which is basically what the Democratic Party is all about. All right. So it's very frustrating. Very frustrating with a lot of this stuff. Chicago anti-ICE chaos only proves why National Guard is needed. So let's look at this mayhem because it's mayhem. And, you have Prickster and the mayor of Chicago saying, nothing wrong here. Meanwhile, they have like 1,100 shooting deaths or something crazy. It's like, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I think you got something going on there. Stop being ugly. Stop being evil and lying. Chicago anti-ICE chaos only proves why National Guard is needed. Right? So now I get the ad. I had all that fighting going on. It was like, wow. So now the reason why I wanted to bring this up is, so here's a Democrat that is somehow good. I don't know how that happened, but this one guy is a good guy. At least he's posing as a good guy at this point. Raymond Lopez, alderman for Chicago's 15th Ward, fears rhetoric from leaders like Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson is pushing the city and the country to a dangerous place that there may be no coming back from. I would say, Mr. Lopez, you need to watch your back. All right, watch your six. The politics of the city and of hyper-progressive liberalism is bringing us closer to the brink with an escalation that I don't think any of us truly wants to see, Lopez told the Post. The governor, the mayor, with a wink and a nod, told everyone to protest peacefully, and we've seen the exact opposite unfold. They're continuing to play a game of chicken with other people's lives. It's coming to a point, and here's Mr. Lopez here. Good job, Mr. Lopez. Those ICE operations were targeted by violent harassment, with some protesters even following federal agents and boxing them in on Saturday, according to the Department of Homeland Security, right? So, I mean, we're going to see people that will stand up and do the right thing. It's going to be extremely rare in Democrat Party, right? Because they pretty much toe the line. We see how they vote. They all vote the same. And then you'll have a occasional rhino like Rand Paul that will vote along with them. And I don't know what's going on with Paul. It's like, what are you doing? Did that beat down you got in your yard, like where you almost died, that shift you to voting for the Democrats? What's going on? So there's a lot of problems out there, and there's people that have been he didn't do a Jeffrey Epstein Island tour, so his neighbor came in and beat him almost to death. So I guess that pushed him in the wrong direction, or something did. All right, so huge court win as President Trump restores law and order and destroys Antifa. Dr. Steve Turley.
Portland, Oregon, a Democrat monopolized rat-infested wasteland, a third world hellhole. Sorry, that's an insult to third world. A city that spent over 100 nights in Antifa-initiated turmoil, a city that has finally met its match in President Trump. The game just took a dramatic turn. Remember that left-wing lunatic disguised as a federal judge who issued a temporary restraining order over the weekend, blocking President Trump from deploying the Oregon National Guard troops to Portland? Yeah, well...
Evil. All right. Ugly. All right. Not saying that she is ugly. She doesn't look ugly to me, but she's definitely in the ugly, evil category. And listen to what her fellow judges did.
Just told to shove it by her judicial colleagues. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously, yes, you heard that right, unanimously lifted this activist judge's restraining order on Trump's mobilization of Oregon National Guard troops. And so now the National Guard, together with federal agents, are descending en masse on this third world Democrat imploded city with one ruthless mission: restore law and order once and for all.
So some of those little lefties are going to get 8 years in prison. Listen to this.
No more catch and release. No more city officials handicapping law enforcement. The hammer of justice is dropping in its most dramatic fashion yet. So now as we speak, these violent Antifa rioters are being slapped with 8-year federal felony charges for assaulting officers. For the first time in years, real accountability is arriving, with rioters being tossed in federal penitentiaries, not let out in hours to riot again. And the effect? Residents are taking to the streets to cheer the federal heroes for cleaning up neighborhoods and reclaiming the city. Portland's multiracial communities finally see peace return, thanks to President Trump's unyielding approach, and they are thankful. And
yeah, I saw in Chicago where there was like a border patrol guy, big old boy, white guy, blonde. He's in a convenience store getting some stuff, and everybody's like congratulating him, telling him thank you. Black man, coming up and shaking his hand. Whew. I was like, wow, that's good. That's real good. And so people want to see their cities return to peace once again, without the criminality that Democrat Party brings, because they profit from it, right? So and that's part of the deep state, basically alternate reality that they've created in these cities that's not based on the Constitution. So that's bringing the Constitution in, bringing in law and order. Will restore the constitutional acts within those cities. We'll stop the theft. We'll stop the taxation that's happening in a lot of these places. We'll stop the extreme insurance fraud that's going on in these states. It's all coming to a head very rapidly. And as people start to see this happening, like as some of these other cities start to see that people are going to jail for 8 years in a penitentiary, federal penitentiary, where it's not nice. There's no like playing with ponies out in the grass and all that stuff that some of these places are having a cell with a transgender, that's a rapist. Yeah, there's some serious stuff going on there. So we're going to see a lot of this stuff basically start to turn around and get cleaned up, and people are going to be like, yep, I'm not going to get out of line. Right? I'm going to go to the white hat side, and that's it. I was a little bit ugly, but I'm all white now. I'm good. I'm a goodie. Right? I'm never going ugly again. Right? You never want to go ugly. You never want to go full retard. No one ever goes full retard. But as you see, some of those people in Portland went full retard, and they're going to find out. Right? So everybody's going to be like backing off, going full retard. They're out. I'm out of full retard. Remember that happened when Trump was in office, and they were trying to like tear down all the statues and so forth in DC, and he made it 8 years, 8 or 10 years or whatever it was, and a couple of people got that, and so all those tearing down of statues stopped, at least while Trump was in office, and then when Biden came in, they started it up again, right? So yeah, there's good things that are happening out there under Trump, and it's going good, right? I got to show that filthy sausage. That's some handle. All right, so filthy sausage. All right, nice. All right, sometimes you see some good ones. Right, so you got to like point them out. Yeah, look at that. That's good. So that's creative. All right, so now I did a show with the Ages group, the doctors. That's Dr. Artis. Remember, Dr. Artis was part of exposing how the COVID shot was venom, had venom in it, snake venom. He's done the same thing. I remember going like almost 3 years ago. I went to their first conference. Really, really good. And he was like, okay, on your computers or on your iPhone, look up Ozempic. So he had us go through, and it's like Ozempic, and so look at this, look at this, look at this. It was military. The military was behind Ozempic, military labs, and Ozempic basically has Gia Monster venom in it. So he pointed that out almost 3 years ago, and he said, we're going to see people go blind, and we're going to see people have their guts will shut down. They won't be able to eat anymore. Have to be fed intravenously. I said it 3 years ago, and now there's like huge cases that are coming out where all these people have all these those problems we talked about. Right now, they also talked about in their, they exposed so many things. Dr. Group basically talked about how he went on Alex Jones in 2018 and said they're going to come out with the bioweapon, and then they're going to come out with a vaccine that's going to be worse, way worse than the bioweapon. And then after he did that show on Alex Jones in 2018, he got death threats. Alex Jones got death threats. And that's when they started to attack Alex Jones and took down his channel and all that stuff. So these guys are like cutting edge. I've learned a lot from them. Now, they also talked about history, how this snake thing goes all the way back into the cult of Asclepius, which is basically, this guy was like, you would come into this, he'd have all these rooms or whatever, and you come in and there'll all be all these snakes all over the place, and you're supposed to like hang out with the snakes. Crazy stuff. But you see, like in the temple of the Parthenon in Nashville, because I've been there several times, you see Athena, who was on the Acropolis. So above Greece was the statue of Athena, and she was the patron goddess of Athena, or of Athens. So guess what was on her shield, and all around her, on her wrist, she had like bracelets. Anybody?
I'm not sure I understand.
My watch is like, I'm not sure I understand. Yeah. I didn't ask you. What the hell? Anyone want to like take a gander at what's all over Athena's shield, and right next to her and around her, she's got wristbands, snakes. Wayne Sanford, snacks, but I know you meant snakes, right? Yeah. Robin, good. So good. A reptilian, yes, a snake is reptilian. So that's good. You got it right too. I'll give that one to you. But yeah, snakes all the way back then. They used snakes for healing all the way back 2,500 years ago, guys. So this is on Athena's shield. Snakes in that strange head. I don't know what that's about, but the Greeks were blonde. Or were they? I don't know. So back then, were they dark haired or were they blonde? I don't know. Who knows? But there's lots. So I've looked into that. I remember going there, and there's like a plaque, because I was like, what the heck is going on with these snakes? So I'm figuring this out years ago. I saw this years and years ago. I'm like, snakes? What's? And then they came out, and then Dr. Artis talked about snake venom, and I was like, this has been going on for a long. I even asked them. I said, I've been to Parthenon there in Nashville, and there's like snakes all over the place. What is this stuff been going on for a long time? They're like, you got it. So I've learned how to think. Right? I do the critical thinking. I put things together. I hope you guys are doing the same thing. But it's crazy, guys. This stuff has been going on for a long time. This deep state has gotten thousands of years of practice in how to control us. And yes, they control us in lots of different ways. And they have the good information. They know they don't get vaccinated, guarantee you. And they don't do all the stuff that they tell us to do. You ever see those videos where, back during COVID, where they're like doing the masking, and they like, you'd have all these political types. I remember one that was in England, where they had all these political types, and they were like all in masks and stuff like that. And then they showed before that, somebody was videoing them before, and the guy that was going to, the head guy was like, put your mask on. So everybody's like scrambling around, putting their mask on, and then the camera starts, and they all got their mask on. None of them had their mask on before that. Yeah. So pretty crazy stuff. These people that we have believed should be in charge of us, they should not be. They should not be at all, right? So that's going to be something we're going to have to turn around, and it's not going to work out too good for them. So, of course, James Comey pleads not guilty to his 2 federal charges, of which, he may get 5 years for each, but not if Halligan, I think that's her name, right? In the Eastern Virginia courts, if she doesn't belong there. It's like they just stuck her there. Like, we're getting desperate, so we're going to have you go there, and here's your list of people you're going to indict. James Comey, then Letitia James, and then da-da-da, and la-da-da, la-da-da. And maybe it's just all for show. But there could be that thing where once they're indicted and they don't serve or they don't get a trial, it's null and void. Ooh. I know there's something like that out there. That would not be good. So anyway, you want to get into the place where you're going to kick the vaccine, because we talked about this today. Everyone is suffering from those people that got vaccinated. If you've been vaccinated and you're, clean yourself out and so forth, great for you, but a lot of people haven't. And they're becoming very toxic to everybody else. And we talked about this would happen 5 years ago. I said, don't get vaccinated before the vaccination came out. And then we started talking about how those people that are going to get this vaccination, it's going to fester inside them, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And then they're going to be like super toxic to everybody around them. Right. So those people that have gotten shot after shot after shot after shot, they are so toxic. Oh my God. And they're probably having multiple problems. They can't figure it out. Right. So they talked about how you can overcome a lot of stuff. One of the greatest things you can do, of course, is the LifeWave patches, guys. So the X39, highly recommend that. I want you guys to survive. You guys are listening to me at this point. Please don't die. All right. Because I've spent a lot of time educating you. And I know you've probably spent a lot of time educating yourself. So don't go full retard. All right. Get yourself, there's lots of different modalities out there that are useful and helpful. Find something that's going to keep you clean, because it's nonstop. We have to detox nonstop at this point. Unless you're in the woods somewhere and, you got beehives and sheep running around and ostriches. Do you see the thing in the ostriches in up in Canada, where they're basically trying to kill like 400 ostriches? So the ostriches, because they've lived for a long time, I've talked about this already, the ostriches basically have built some kind of crazy immunity. So if you eat ostrich eggs, you get that immunity. Crazy. I've eaten some ostrich eggs, of course. Yeah, good stuff. Wow, 1 ostrich egg, like, whoa, that's a lot, right? Like big. I got one. I think we had one that was green. Really neat. So, so in Canada, under the WHO's direction, they sent in like this army of Gestapo police, which basically wanted to slaughter all 400 of those ostriches, because they've been studying them for a long time, figuring out what it is about them that can resist diseases like COVID, just basically cancel it out. So, of course, they got to shut them. They're still doing this. Canada, if Canada is to go to the United States, which I think it already is, but the people have to wake up to it. And that's what we're seeing in a lot of these cases around the world. We have to awaken so that they can activate, right? So if you believe in the lie of the deep state that they're in charge, they're going to continue to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until there's nothing left of you. There's nothing left of you, right? Until you turn into your what these guys were talking about. These guys were talking about some serious stuff, and they've been cutting edge a lot of their stuff they're doing, biohacking on us, chemtrailing in our food supply and the vaccinations and all that stuff. They're turning us into robots, right? Soulless robots. And that's what a lot of this technology, biotech, is doing to a lot of people. If you survive it, if you survive all the stuff they're throwing at you, if you're not detoxing and your body's just like taking it all in and starting to convert you into a robot with no soul, and then once they hit that 51% of terminators, the rest of us are going to be in trouble. Right? We're already in trouble with a lot of these people with their shedding from the vaccination, and then they're going to start to turn into friggin' robots, guys. Biotech robots, soulless. So the soul is going to leave the body. The soul is going to I'm out. And that's they talk about that, and they talk it really well, a lot better than I can. You're like, whatever, Mike. You don't have anything to back that up. No science. Yeah, there's a lot of science, but anyway, that's what's happening. We're moving in that direction. That's their goal. So the Terminator thing is like for real, guys. Maybe they've already, I'm sure they already got some Terminators out there. Non-humanoid. Yeah, you say humanoids, but yeah, kind of like a little bit of human, but mainly robot, crazy. So that's right, Judy. Jesus is king. Right? He'll protect us. That's all we got to do. We just focus on Jesus and it's all done. Yeah, we have to get activated. We have to activate and push back. And Jesus said, these things I do, you can do an even greater. That means we can push back on these people and know them for who they are. And, with that knowledge, we can defeat them. But if you don't have that knowledge, if you're just like, well, some random source like President Trump's just going to come in and take care of everything. All right. He's done this over and over again where he basically says this or that, this or that. And that's what he does. He does that really well. So you want good or you want evil? Good or evil? It's up to you, right? So Canadians, we're going to get that Alberta 51st state and Saskatchewan 52nd. You guys are effed if you don't do it. Absolutely, completely, and by probably the end of if not this year, then into the middle or so of next year, you're going to be fully and absolutely controlled in your state of Canada. So I said back when you Canadians, you better leave. Back when COVID started, when the COVID bioweapon came out, I said, Canadians, run away, run from Canada now while you can. And then a lot of people got locked up in Canada. And then if you went back to Canada, then you went through all kind of crazy treatment. So this time, if you don't do a 51st and 52nd state, if you can, you better crawl, fly, or go underground to get the hell out of Canada. Otherwise, you're totally effed in Canada. You are effed in Canada, guys. Right? So you gotta get because you Canadians are like a bunch of Californians. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be. Right? You don't push back. You learn from your British masters, not to get out of line, right? And you have a few people that do, of course, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Same thing in California. I've been talking about this for years. Not enough people that push back, right? So, and same thing in Chicago, same thing in all of Illinois, same thing in New York. So I know some of you are like, well, if we push back, we're going to get pushed back on. That's right. That's why you have to have a lot of people push back. And if you don't, then yeah, you leave. Right? Otherwise, all right, here we go, guys. It's coming down to the wire. The crazy stuff is about ready to go high order. And if you're not in a position where you can protect yourself and your significant others, your crew, right? If you guys aren't, I saw today after we did that show with the doctors. I saw somebody, or maybe it was in another show. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes I go out and look at the chat, and I sometimes make comments. What I like as much as I can, but there's thousands. I can't look at them all, guys. But sometimes I'm, drawn, I guess, to come in. And there was this one woman that said, I didn't get vaccinated, and no one in my family got vaccinated. And I was like, you are the only one. It's like, is there anyone out there? Anyone else? All I see, 99.9% of people is like, I tried to tell everybody in my family, and they got it anyway. Now I was lucky. There's only my daughter got vaccinated because she was in school, and they kept hammering her. We're all telling her, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And she's in friggin' liberal California, Orange County, going to school, and they're like hammering her to get vaccinated. Otherwise, she had to get tested every single day. She was going to classes, and she had worked for years to get her degree. So she was like in her last semester to get her degree. So frustrating. So she ended up getting vaccinated, got super sick, and I got her on the patches. And she just got blood work recently, and she's good, right? So there are alternatives, but if you don't realize you got bioweapon hacked, right? Biotech hacked, and your system, your DNA, and everything is basically turning into a zombie. You're turning you into a zombie. If you live from it, you will be a zombie, right? So that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, wonderful point out. Yeah, I'm super happy. So, and my son, he was unfortunately, years and years and years, shouldn't have lasted as long as he did, I think, as a heroin addict. But I got him on patches, and he did really well for a while, and probably lasted a lot longer than he should have, like I said. But, I don't know if he stopped using them or what, I was checking on him, but once you stop using and then you use again, like there's so much, what's that stuff that's killing everybody? Anyway, that one drug that they're cutting all the drugs with now, it's super, super toxic. So he did the toxicology, and unfortunately, he got some of that in him. So no, not meth, fentanyl. Yep. So fentanyl was in, his heroin. He went back to heroin, started using again, and acting like everything was good. That's the way they are. They'll lie to you. It's kind of like the saying that if an addict opens their mouth, they're lying. Unfortunately, but he was doing really well for a long time, because I was with him for like months, and I was making sure that he wasn't using. So he was clean every day on the patches. He was talking about that was the best. He always thought that, when is it going to get good? You get off drugs and it's supposed to get good. So he's like, this is the first time ever it was good. But, fell back, unfortunately. But there are, he had an amazing life, his amazing soul. He's on the other side doing really good stuff. So I get communications with him all the time. So he lasted a lot longer than he was really meant to be here. So anyway, he came in for his, to push a certain agenda and work through certain things. And he did that, and then hung around and, had a good time with us. So, and then like, boom. So you guys that aren't into past lives and all that kind of stuff, you start to realize, you come in sometimes for certain agendas, and you get those, you do those, and you go back out, you come back in. And sometimes you have multiple lives at the same time. So, which he is doing. Right? So now when he comes back in again, he's going to come in with a lot more energy. At least that's what I'm getting. and that so because he's having multiple lives, he came in with a certain amount of energy to do a certain thing, and he accomplished that. So it boosted his soul quotient and so forth. So that's what he does. So anyway, going off on a tangent again, but coming back around, what we do, like Trump does, bring it back around, and we talk about how at the beginning of this, it's a trinity. It's good, bad, and ugly. Some people are good, and they get sucked into that ugly side, unfortunately, like my son. So, but he will come back out. He'll have the good, but get sucked back. It's tough. So we need to do the best we can to create an environment where there is no more ugly. Right? And a lot of people are like, can we even do that? I believe that we can. I think we're moving into a consciousness that will have only good. Right? There will only be good. And I think some people think that that's impossible, but I believe there are worlds out there that they've already worked through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and there's no more ugly, there's no more bad, there's only good. I believe that exists. And they interact with us and they try and help us. But we're like the stray dog that, this is the way in the Middle East. There's all these stray dogs around there, and they're all super humble, most of them. The people in the Middle East, they don't like dogs, right? So most of them, there's a few that do, that have been Western trained usually. They've been in Western schools and so forth. But anyway, there's dogs that roam. I don't know how, but there's dogs, wild dog packs and so forth. But they're all super humble. So when we've been in different places, whether it's Afghanistan, Pakistan, or Libya, wherever we were, Libya doesn't really have a wild dog problem, but other places do. We would take in those dogs, and they'd come and we'd feed them, and they'd be all happy, they'd hang out, and we get them cleaned up, and they'd hang out. They were like all happy, and maybe one or two of their buddies would come and join them. But eventually, they'd always go out. They like the wildlife, right? They'd always they disappear, right? They had the best of everything, had good life, but they were, they'd already been in that wildlife. So they went back out, starving, all mangy and all kind of crazy stuff. And the locals hate them and, kick at them and throw stuff at them and so forth. So, we're going to continue to see that for a while. Like some of these people that are in Portland, they're like those mangy dogs out there, right? They're wild things that, just, I don't know if they'll ever change. Maybe they'll have to go to, 8 years of penitentiary life. And hopefully in the penitentiary life in the future, they'll start to treat people a little bit differently, teach them a trade or something. That'll be a requirement. And they'll learn the trade while they're in there, and they'll come out. I think those are the really good prison systems where they do that. And I know they're out there, but most of them are just like, it's a money-making thing. And the judges, some of the police and all that, they're all in on it, guys. They're all in on politicians. That's why they just let people out. They'll put them in the prison. They get a little certain money, and then they kick them out. They're like, okay, you can go now. Go make some more crime because we're going to benefit from that. They benefit from it, right? They benefit from the crime. That's why they have the crime out there. So we need to really look at working and transforming some of those people, the homeless. I showed a show the other day where this veteran guy that saw, like I did, and was exposed to extraterrestrial stuff, right? And then there's like this one group within the deep state, the uglies, that basically attack people that have that connection or have that information and can share that information and awaken people. So if you're part of an awakening process, is if you've done that, you get attacked, all right? like all those doctors, all of them have been threatened, attacked, almost killed, all of them, right? So these are the people that are bringing us information, like myself, that's trying to help humanity. So we're having a lot of these people that are being attacked. And if you want to share something that will help humanity, look out. So here I am. I've had this experience where the deep state doesn't like that. So they focus on me and destroy my life, destroy my credibility, talk bullshit about me. And that's what this one guy in the show that I put out the other day, he had one of those experiences. And I was like, yep, all of us that have that, and there's lots of us, they destroy our lives and try and kill us so that we don't share that information. So there are good ET entities that are out there that are trying to help us, but we're like that mangy dog that just loves to, they would come in and clean us up, and then we'd run back out and get all mangy and starving again, right? That's the way most of humanity still is. So that's obviously a problem, and that's why they're not going to help. So we just stopped. We're like, yeah, we'd like to help those dogs, but it doesn't work out. They're going to do their life. They're going to we'll give them food every now and then, but yeah, that's their thing. Just like my son, that was his thing. He's going to do that. You can only help him so much. He's here to experience that, and he's gone, right? So maybe some of these people, we can help them so that they completely break free from that system. I know a lot of addicts from all kind of stuff have broken free and, lead incredible lives. I mean, there's probably thousands of people right now that could say, yeah, me. So there is that potential. And there is the potential that we could believe and understand that there are extraterrestrials out there that could help us and have been. So I think like the Tesla stuff, and I think like David Schmidt, the guy that does the LifeWave, I think they get information from now some people was like from God, energy, higher source, but I think that there's positive ETs that are beaming good information at us as well. And of course, in some of these uglies, there's some negative ETs that are beaming energy and frequencies and thoughts of them, right? So it is getting to the point where we're at the precipice of overcoming all that. We're very close, and it's a very exciting time. Whatever your belief system, like whether you believe that Charlie Kirk, really got shot and died, or if you're like me, you saw that and you're like, bullshit, right? That's no. So, and I've talked about that in a lot of shows. So it doesn't matter that you don't have my beliefs. You don't believe in ETs. You believe very strongly in your religious beliefs, and you don't believe that there was other influences and other things that may have happened, and maybe somebody came in and manipulated some biblical text and stuff. You don't believe that, right? I do, right? In fact, I'm almost completely 100% certain that happened, right? When you look at all the, critical thinking information and so forth. So when you know that, like, for instance, in the beginning, let's make them in our image. Let's make man in our image. That's not like one being. Hello. So you can look at all that stuff and you can oh, well, they meant this. No, that's what they wrote. I think that's what they meant. All right. So, or maybe it got mixed up in the translation, which happened in a lot of stuff. But regardless, when you look at the old Aramaic, and the Old Testament comes from who? The Jews, right? And who killed Jesus? Who was Jesus? a Jew. And who was it? He went to a court and they said, kill this man. Romans, crucify him. All right. And so we still believe in the Old Testament, but they're the ones that, killed, if you're Christian, killed your Savior, your God, right? So, so the first commandment, there can be no other God before me. And then somewhere in that New Testament, they put in that I am the only way to God. Well, that's breaking the first commandment. So, you can play games with all this stuff, guys. It's up to you. But really, and eventually, you don't need any of that. There is a connection that you can have with God on your own. And these people that tell you that you have to go through them, like the Pope, oh my God, the Pope and the bishops. The Pope, Leo Zagami, said that the Pope told the bishops in America to fight Trump on immigration. That's some effed up stuff, right? That's not cool. And they are. Some of them are. In Texas, even, of all places. So, and hey, Dub, 3 hots and a cot. Yeah, that's military. You're good. You're good to go. All right. Okay, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Look at that. Look at that beautiful night back there. Isn't that gorgeous? It's gorgeous, right? All right. That's my view. That's my view when I eat dinner. That's lovely. And I'm looking at it right now because I can see it in the screen. So that's cool. So while I'm talking to you, you guys see it. I see it. It's fantastic. We're all one tribe. We're all working together. We all have separate, everybody has individual beliefs and understandings and so forth. But ultimately, we can all work together, right? As white hats, right? As good guys, right? As goodies. All right. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for some of you people out there. But just think, just fake it till you make it, right? It's like when you feel yourself getting angry or fearful, just, oh yeah, that love. It's the strongest force in the universe. And that's a God energy. Yep. Got to go love. Stay love. Think love. Be love. All right, guys. See you next time.